Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at GrooveRider GR-16 and we are going to do a slice mode tutorial. Slice mode will let you take any imported sample or loop, right, and slice it up to 16 parts, okay? Now when you first import a loop or a sample, GR-16 will automatically slice it into 16 equal parts, which is not what you want. Now, it is important to say that you can only do this with imported samples. You can't use slice mode with instruments and samples that are built into GrooveRider. Okay, so it's for slicing up your own imported samples. It's like editing, but better. Okay, so first of all, let's name this project. Okay, so you hold shift here and hit right, and then you can choose rename pattern, and we're just going to call this a slice mode tutorial, and we'll hit OK, and we'll see it appear here. Now what we want to do is, we're in trigger mode, we want to choose an oscillator or a drum, it doesn't matter, one of these pads to import our loop onto, right? Okay, so we're going to go to wave, go to samples, and you'll see I've already done a tutorial on how to import sample folders, but I'm going to go to this one. It says speech mail, tap on it and open it. And all these samples here, we'll just choose one and...
These poachers know the swamps like... Let them try. Okay, I'll be careful. But Sheriff, I can't...
What I'm going to do is scroll up and find a particular sample I want from The Haunting of Hill House with Vincent Price and put it in this. So there'll be a slight break here. Okay, we're back. We found the one I want because there are many samples in the hundreds. I'm going to choose this one. I'm just going to tap on it. And now if I press the pad...
In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, I'm going to boost the level on that anyway so you can hear what's going on.
In spite of my wife's faith...
Brilliant. Let's just exit this and you'll see a little asterisk here. Press right and it'll save your pattern.
In spite of my...
Now, what's going to happen, as soon as we press slice here, we're in slice mode. So now...
In spite of my wife's ability to be impossible, we will stay in this until 8 o'clock.
What GR-16 has done now is slice that sample into 16 equal parts. Right. If we hit slice again, we're into slice edit mode. So if we go to slice 1 now, you'll see that this...
In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the...
is slice 1, slice 2, slice 3. But it's not trimming the end. Well, you can do that. So this is great. Now we can start to manipulate the sample. So...
In spite of my wife's...
Let's use slice start here to just bring that in.
In spite of my wife...
Let's go back a tiny bit.
In spite of my wife's faith... In spite of my wife's faith in my...
Okay, that'll do. We'll be here all day. Now, I don't think there's any way to kind of zoom in on this sample, but remember you can just reduce the slice end now to see what this is.
In spite of my wife... In spite of my wife...
I'm going to just drag the start back a tiny bit.
In spite of my... In spite of my... In spite of my... In spite of my...
And then the end, I want that wife bit in there.
In spite of my wife.
Tiny bit more.
In spite of my wife.
And a touch more.
In spite of my wife. In spite of my wife.
Brilliant. Let's go to slice 2.
Wife's faith. Wife's.
Set the sample starts maybe here. See what?
Faith in my ability. Faith in my ability to.
Yeah. Faith in my ability. Let's do this.
Faith in my ability.
Tiny bit more on the end.
Faith in my ability.
Great. Let's go to
ability to do the impossible. Ability to do the...
Let's go with do the impossible. So we go and find our slice point here.
Do the
bit further back than that.
To do the...
Bit much.
To do the impossible. To do the impossible.
Tiny bit more. I just want the...
Do the impossible.
I just want the do the impossible.
Do the impossible.
It's tricky.
To do the impossible.
Oh, let's leave it at that. It'll be here all day. Let's go back now and drag this to about here.
To do the impossible. To do the impossible. To do the impossible.
Let's do one more. Let's go to slice start for this.
We will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock.
Size N now.
We will all have to.
Let's put this. We'll all have to stay in this house.
We will all have to stay in this house.
Cool. That's a tiny bit more on that.
We will all have to stay in this house.
And a little bit more. You see,
We will all have to stay in this house.
you want to be taking care. You know, you want to get it as close as possible. So,
Inspire faith to do. We will inspire faith to do. We will all.
so now we've got this.
In spite of my wife to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the impossible. We will all do the impossible. We will all have to stay in this house to do the impossible. We will all have to do the. We will all do the. We will all do the impossible.
Now you can apply effects to this. You can apply the send effect. So for I think it's just probably a reverb. So
We will all do the faith in spite of my wife.
and you can do this up to 16 times, so you can see how cool it would be if you've imported drum loops or different types of talking or just various special effects and stuff like that that you might have recorded over the course of a wave. So you got different sounds, and then you can just
We will do faith.
set them all up here. Now, it doesn't end here. Let's do this. Let's just press play. Now, let's press play. You can exit slice mode anyway now, and it'll just be...
In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the
It'll just be the full thing. But now if you go back...
faith to do the impossible. We will all...
Let's hit right to save it. Let's press play. And we get in default, we get a basic 4 on the floor. I'm going to hit record. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the length here. So I'm going to enter pattern, length is 1 bar. And I'm going to set the length to 4 bars. I'm just going to exit this now. Again, let's hit right to save. So now we've got 4 bars of this. So it's going to give us a counting.
Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in
See, it's now recorded all my slices.
To do the impossible. Faith in my ability.
I can go back to trigger now.
We will all have to
Choose
stay
another.
in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my
Go
ability
to sequence.
we will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith.
Just putting a bit of filter on that hi-hat.
Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay in spite of my faith to do the impossible. Faith in my ability to do the. We will all have to stay.
So there you go. There's slice mode. At any time you can go back and you can, oh, wrong. See, right. This is a good example because I'm highlighted on hi-hat that says there's no sample imported. So it only works with samples. If we shift back now to part number 5, I think it was part number 5, was it?
We will all do faith in my faith.
And you can carry on, you know, doing sample edits. Remember just to press slice again and you're into slice edit mode. And that last one is 2.
In these little coffins, in these little coffins, in these little coffins, little.
What's this one here?
But we have some party favors for you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Vincent.
But we have some party favors for you. But, in spite of my, in spite faith in my, in spite of my
You can do some really cool stuff. Anyway, guys, there you go. Slice mode. Awesome stuff. Really cool. You can see you can slice up absolutely anything. Brilliant. GR-16, amazing app. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you later. Ta-da!